Now that I've scared the daylights out of you about escrow, which I'm sorry I talked so much about escrow, but for me it's important as a listing agent because we're all staring at it. It's the first thing we stare at. Now, when you're a buyer, the next thing you want to talk about is just what you're doing here. So when you go to make an offer and you're working a deal, you always need to get a survey. So this next video is going to be about why a property survey is like the most important thing you can possibly do when you're buying a house. One of the biggest reasons why you need a survey is because it identifies everything about the property. Where the house is located on the lot, which block subdivision. It gives a legal description, very accurate legal description, which is what we put in the real estate contract. It also tells you what you're closing. It tells you where the fences are, whether the neighbor's fence is on your property, whether there's an easement that's running through your property. The survey tells you everything about the property. Without it, you just don't know what you're buying. So how much does a survey cost? A survey can cost anywhere from $450 up to $1,500. They typically cost about $450, but if it's a large property, it could be as much as $1,500. Now, we're not getting into the contract yet. We're talking about the concept of buying. What's the next big concept? It's title insurance. Now, why do you need title insurance as a buyer? Because title insurance indemnifies you from loss because of what happened in the past. So when you close a property, we hope we know everything about the property. I'm a title licensee myself. I own with my partner New Frontier Title. So title insurance enables you to comfortably close that transaction knowing you've got an insurance company there to battle for your rights in case something happened in the past that we're not aware of, which I'll get into next. One of the biggest advantages of getting title insurance, which you've got to get, same thing as a survey. You got to get a survey, you got to get title insurance. I'm going to who pays for it in a minute, but the idea is it protects you against unknown heirs, fraud, things like that. So the problem with real estate is you close the transaction, somebody died, and then all of a sudden an heir shows up that says, I own part of that property, which could be very true. If that happens, the title insurance underwriter protects you or indemnifies you from loss, or let's say somebody fraudulently closed a transaction somewhere behind you. It protects you as the buyer, so make sure that you have clear title in the future to sell the property. So title insurance is kind of complicated about who pays for it. So there's no rule necessarily who pays for title insurance. There's protocol, but no rule. Protocol is this. In the state of Florida, seller pays title, not buyer, in all counties except Miami-Dade, Broward, Collier, Sarasota. In those counties, buyer pays title. So how much is title insurance? Well, title insurance is promulgated by the state of Florida, meaning that the rates are set. Approximately, here's some figures. For the first $100,000 of value, title insurance costs $575. For every $100,000 above the first $100,000, it costs $500 per $100,000. So on a $500,000 transaction, it might cost $2,800 for the title policy. So how long does title insurance last for? In other words, once you get a policy and close your transaction, is it good forever? The answer is yeah. As long as you own the home, you're protected. Now, you don't have to be afraid like the insurance companies can go out of business because title is different. Title insurance underwriters are different than insurance for windstorm and homeowners insurance. Homeowners insurance companies in Florida go out of business all the time. There's 5 that just went out of business in 2022. But insurance underwriters in title are very solid companies. They make a good premium on the transaction and they're very cautious about how they write title. Now, I might be going into a few too many details about title insurance, but this is important for you to know as a buyer because this is what protects you. So the underwriters, we're not an underwriter, we're a retailer. We actually write title insurance to homeowners, right? Or we give it to whoever employs us to write the policy. But the underwriters that scrutinize the deal are incredibly careful. They have searches and we have searches and we all cross-check each other's work. So before title is written, there's quite a lot of work that's done to make sure you as the buyer are getting clear title to the property. So we're talking about